you got to think about the road we've traveled. We come a long damn ways to start from scratch with nothing. Dig. You is it true that you once lived in your car?
Not me. I never said that.
Okay.
No, I never lived in my car. I never been homeless.
Yeah.
It's very funny too because many people have come to me to say, "Man, we love your story, brother. The way you came up from being homeless, man." I've never said. I've
How
never
did that
said
story
that.
get out there?
I have no idea. I think there's other black
Maybe
comedians.
because you played the role in Poetic Justice when you was doing the homeless thing.
Well, I was homeless then, no, and I think they connected to the fact that when I won Star Search for 100,000, I gave half to the homeless. Well, I had been out there for 4 years doing comedy on Venice Beach, telling jokes and passing my hat, 5 hours a day every Saturday and Sunday. I'd done that for 4.5 years, and then I won Star Search, and so I gave half to the homeless, and people seeing me perform in the streets and seeing that I gave the money to the homeless, they put 2 and 2 together and got 7. I've never been homeless. I've never said it, not even jokingly, not in none of my acts, not in none of my stories. I never pretended to be it, But Steve Harvey says he was. There's quite a few comics who say that they actually lived in a car for. Was it Art? No, it wasn't. I was about to say DC, but it wasn't.
I think Mike Epps said.
Mike Epps said too. But several comics have said that. So people have heard that story from other people, from other comics. They saw that I worked in the street. They say I won, I gave to the street, and they just assumed that. But I have never been. Thank you, God, for the blessing. I've never been homeless. I had a mom and dad who really cared about us, and they raised us. They busted their ass. And I had one of them mothers who will spend everything on her kids. If she ain't have but $10, she's gonna spend $9.99 on us. And we was poor, but we didn't know we was poor. If you poor and everybody, if you broke, everybody around you broke. You don't even know you broke.
Yeah.
Because we had love.
Especially when you got everything you need.
Yeah, we had our basic needs. My mom and dad would go out and work, and they would bring food home, and we'd eat, and we'd celebrate Christmas, and we had life. But no, I've never been like that level of poor, and I've never lived in a car, and I think there's an honorable thing if you can make it to the other side of that and still stand and tell your story. But no, I've never had that. And unless somebody hit me in my head and I lose my senses, I will never be homeless because God blessed me with so many wonderful tools. And one of them is the gift of gab. I know how to talk shit and get paid. I could stand on any corner in America and stand there and talk shit, and people will surround me and pay me. I don't care. If it's all white people, I could go to a corner where all white people walk by, and I can start telling jokes and telling stories, and people will gather. And I will hold them for 30 or 40 minutes and then take off my hat and make them pay me. And since I can do that, because I did it on Venice Beach for 9 years, since I can do that, I'll always work. No matter what happens. If the clubs decide, well, we're not going to bring you in, I can always go back to Venice Beach. I did 6 figures a year on Venice Beach, telling jokes on a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I can always go back. I don't want to go back. I'm 69, and that shit is heavy lifting. But just to answer the question, no, I wasn't homeless. Nobody in my family wasn't. And if we were, we'd rush to help each other not be homeless, because it really is our job. Once again, I am my brother's keeper and my sister's too.
Has there ever been a time that success for you was harder than the struggle?
Right now. Right now. I mean, how does one measure success would really be the question. I think I'm wildly successful. Because I got a rubber chicken. No, I am successful to the extent that, first of all my needs are met for certain. But beyond that, I have a couple of dollars. And more importantly, I live in a nice place, and I have a woman that loves me. With my woman, I could live in a car if I could just have her. I mean, my woman is everything. And me and my woman could go anywhere and start butt naked and broke. And in a week, we will be dressed and on to some big shit, because we have really good minds. But the blessing is her. She's a blessing.
Now, what does Sonya think when you on stage, man, and you start talking about her, and you start, especially when you start talking about being intimate with her? What is she? Did she ever call you on that?
She loves it. That's why I love her. She's so playful. I remember the first time I tried her is I told her, I said, baby, I love you, and I know I love you because not once have I ever fucked you. She said, yeah, baby, but I told her, I said, I just make love to you. And she said, yeah, Daddy, but sometimes I like to get fucked. You know what I'm saying? She has a sense of humor, which is so great because I tell stories on stage about her and what we have done and stuff. But I could stop, if she's an artist, I could stop on the stage and say, baby, I be you good, don't I? Be give me that shit. She'd be, that's right, Daddy. You know, so she's supportive of me in every single way and every single thing I do. She is there to support it and to lift it up. And her sense of humor is just wonderful. You know, it's really wonderful. I'm really so blessed to have her. I'm so blessed to have her.
Yeah.